Hello everybody. Today I am going to be going over how to onboard a Hugging Face model onto our platform. Now, all the steps I'll be going through today can be found on our official aiXplain documentation underneath the How to Onboard a Hugging Face Model page. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to assume that you have already installed the aiXplain Python SDK. Now, with that being said, the first step is to export your team API key into an environment variable. So let's get that done real quick. Here, I've got my team API key recorded on a Google Doc. I'm just going to copy and paste that. And now our environment is all set. So the first step to onboard a Hugging Face model is to copy this command into your terminal. So we're going to want to decide what to name the model. Let's call this model Michael's test model. Hugging Face repo ID corresponds to the Hugging Face ID of the model you want to onboard. And this is always going to be in a supplier/repository format. For the purposes of today's demonstration, we are going to be onboarding tiiuae's Falcon 7B model. Next, we're going to want to pass in our Hugging Face access token as an argument here. I also have that on a document, so when you onboard your own model, please try to have these handy. And finally, for whatever reason you have problems exporting your team API key into an environment variable, you can always pass it as an argument into the command itself. But since we already did that, we don't need this final parameter. Now we just onboard the model. Perfect. So this ID is going to be the model ID of the model we've onboarded. In order to check the onboarding status of this model, we just have to run the second command on this page. And now we simply replace model ID with the model ID of the model that we've onboarded, which was returned in our previous command. Again, you have the option of passing a team API key if you had trouble exporting your team API key into the environment. But since everything went smoothly there, again, we don't need this. As you can see, the model is still onboarding. This process will take between 5 and 15 minutes, after which you will be able to use this model just like any other model on our platform. One other way you can view the status of your model is by actually going onto our platform. If you go onto Discover, click on a random model, and you replace the last few digits, this model ID of the URL, with the model ID that was passed to you from the first command. This will actually take you to the page of the model that we are onboarding. As you can see here, the model status is still onboarding. Once the model has finished onboarding, you'll be able to try it out and use it via the Python SDK. All right. Now we see that our model status has been updated to onboarded. Let's check this out on the page. Perfect. Everything here has been updated. There are API integration instructions, and there's even a try it out tab for you to test it. And yeah, that's how you onboard a Hugging Face model. Now keep in mind that the maximum size of any model you can onboard right now through Hugging Face is 7 billion parameters. So if your model is any larger than that, this will throw an error. All right, happy onboarding.